In this Photoshop tutorial, we are going to be using modes and layers and gradients together. So let's get started. Do a new document, and let's make it 640 by 480 pixels. Make sure 72 resolution, RGB color. It doesn't really matter what you have here. So we're going to be changing it anyway. So let's start out with a background gradient. And we want to be able to change that. So let's just find something simple that we can add and subtract. And let's do a whole bunch of these little gradient points here. I want it to be analogous colors, so we're just going to choose randomly along here different earth tones. And we don't want to change too much. There we go. And we'll make sure this is a linear gradient. We'll pull it directly across. And then we'll go and we're going to put a filter on it. And we'll pixelate with color halftone. We'll give this that kind of cartoon look. For the size, I like the default as an 8. You might want to go smaller. It's up to you, however you want to do that. And that gives us this look. Let's duplicate that layer. And let's give that a little bit of just this tiny blur. And give it a screen mode. And then we can play with the opacity and get whatever look we want. I wanted sort of this weird faded look to it. There we go. Now we'll set the colors at the default black and white. And we will type. And I chose New Wave because I thought it kind of went with the theme here. And we'll select all of that. And then we'll go up here and do a curve on that, or warp text. We'll arc this one up. Now what's interesting about curved text is you can do a lot of things. I especially like the vertical distortion. There's a lot of character. And do the same thing on the bottom. So this one we're going to do the opposite. So now we have these two text layers. I'm going to give myself a new layer here and call that that's the multi, and I'm going to do a new one here and call that class. Just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to put the multi on top and class on the bottom. Now I'm going to go to this layer, get my magic wand, make sure that contiguous is not checked. Oops. There we go. We'll do that again. Now we've got class selected, and I'm going to do another gradient, but this one I'm going to choose just the default black to white linear gradient, and I will choose the new layer above that one, drag it from top to bottom, and it gives me this look. And do the exact thing here. Choose the layer again, and the same gradient is still there. This time I drag from bottom to up, and there we go. Now I don't think it has enough contrast, so what I'll do is I'll take this layer and give it a black stroke. And I can play around with that. Actually, give me I get the look I want. And there we go. I'm going to do the same thing on this layer. And here we have it. You could certainly put something in the background. It would be kind of fun. So I guess I'm going to go and find some nice clip art. And let me see. Let's get a little more character there. So what I do is I'll drag this sucker over here. Make sure it's in front of everything. And get the right scale. I don't know really if I want it bigger or smaller. Kind of like it about that size. Now I'll go up here and adjust it to color that is appropriate for what I'm doing. And I don't see anything I really like here, so maybe we'll just leave it. That's kind of fun. Okay, so I've got a mode on it, a darken mode, and this is our tutorial. File, save for web and web devices. With this one, I'm going to want to do JPEG just because I don't want to do anything weird, like have lines through the gradient on multimedia. Medium's fine. And PS whatever. And there we go.